of how things fit together, how things come together. And it's probably all of my work, and I don't quite understand why, but all of my work is primarily feminine. It's about the feminine, but it takes on that characteristic. So if you move, you want me to move in front of the camera?
You can, if you want to, or not. It's A-okay.
These are the two pieces I mentioned before. Cece, aka Nefertiti. And this is one of the first ones where I used the number of stones that are in it.
Just the focus. Yeah, it's really.
This is the one I call Embrace. And this shape, in fact, all of those shapes at the top are natural. They're not carved in there. That's the way nature presented it. And this tree grew around its own bark. So that part in the darker part in the middle here is the bark of the tree. And the sapwood, which is the light wood, comes around and embraces it and captures it. And it's held in there permanently. The material at the bottom, which is the white material, is tagua. Tagua is a nut from South America, a very, very hard material. In fact, it was used for making buttons during the Victorian period. This is one of the few pieces where there are actually two different woods used. So the wood on the top is a different wood than the one on the bottom. All the other pieces. This is the one that probably garners most of the questions about how did you do that? Because they look at the form, which is actually the eye of a nautilus. It's made of it's the same material that pearls are made of, but it was the inside of the nautilus. And it's obvious that that piece is much larger than the hole. But there's no hole in the back. And so people keep asking, how did you get that in there? Another question that comes up, there are people who assume that somehow there is a chemical that softens wood and I can manipulate it like pie dough and then pierce it. I'm hoping somebody discovers that someday because it's got to be a lot easier and faster than the way that I do it. And this is one of my favorite pieces. This is the Passion Fire. It's pearls garnered in 18-karat gold. And the wood has been bleached. It hasn't changed the color much, but it's gotten some of the residue that accumulates in the wood from minerals, and it gives it a cleaner look. And this is called Passion Fire 2, because the first time I did it, by the way, this wood is called Box Elder. I sent it off to an exhibition and was very successful there, but when it came back, they had packed it improperly, and the top lace part had been destroyed. But it was such a wonderful piece that I decided to reproduce it. And I changed it a little bit. All of the pieces have this sort of wave work on the top, this one. And if you compare, for example, if you just compare these two right here, the wave height, or what I call the frequency of that, is higher in this one than in that one, or this one. These frequencies are a little bit lower. I have been looking for what I call the perfect wave, which means the number of waves up and down as you move around, and the altitude of them. Because I've discovered that the response to that wave varies with the amplitude. If the amplitude is low and it's fewer waves, the response to it is more quiet and slower than, say, this one, which is quite rapid and quite high. So I was constantly looking for the perfect wave. And this was one of the first times that I found it. The problem with it is, once you do it, you can't do it on paper, because paper, even though you can draw it three-dimensionally, is a two-dimensional reproduction. But to do it for real is the only way that I can do that. And the other thing, I don't know if they've noticed it, but this piece right here. It's a very high wave, but if you stand right here and go down level and look at the tip of this wave, which is low, the one on the opposite side is high. And it creates a brand new shape. Also, if you look at the verticals on this piece, which generally speaking support that crown on the top, is very, very different from the verticals on CC with diamonds and this one right here. So if you look at this piece right here, so that you're looking at the wave, or each one is curved, but it creates an illusion of a new shape because of how the vertical form in the front relates to the one on the opposite side. There's a new shape in there. And the wonderful thing about it is that that shape moves. I first noticed that when I did this piece right here. We had this piece on a carousel, rotating. And as the front, the vertical in the front, moving from left to right, passed by the vertical on the back side, which is moving from the opposite way, from the right to the left. There was a little shudder of light as they crossed. But you only can see that light when the piece is rotating, except with CC, with diamonds. If you look at it, those, but I think you can probably do it better from the other side because the light's a little stronger. Yeah. You could really see from this side. There's a new shape in there that's a curve.
That's beautiful. And so then after all of this, you come to the clock, which really in its own space,
Yeah.
which is right and proper, and the clock is just simply the most spectacular thing. It's just really incomprehensible. It's so beautiful. And it shares the space
Yeah.
with two pieces.
This piece is from the Lipton Collection and was given to the Long Beach Museum.
It's so stunning. And was that a study?
No. The study was similar to this in that I had to have the glass form, so I had to make templates, and I sent the templates out and have the glass made, and I had enough glass made to do several of these. But if anything, that was the study over there.
Well, let's take a look at this one. This piece has a feature which I don't know if the camera will pick up, but there's a...
Well, I can help you pick it up a little bit. Hang on for a second.
Oh yeah, I can see it now.
I'm just going to put this book behind you.
Oh yeah. Yeah. There's your, that's your face.
That's my face, and I'm working on a piece. And it's meant to be subtle, because I didn't want it to be the center or the central part of the piece. But it has, this is a piece of furniture, this is a cabinet, this is a drawer that opens and closes.
And it's just beautiful in every way. It's it almost looks like a shrine.
It actually is a kind of a shrine. I became interested in some forms that I saw and experienced when I went to Africa that were called reliquaries. And these were shrines to the ancestors and often contain the bones of the dead. And this you can find this in many cultures. So this is a shrine. It's not a reliquary, but if it is, it's to life, not to death. And it was designed to hold mementos of life. So the inside actually opens up. And some of these reliquaries that I've seen had baskets in them, and the objects that were sacred to the family were in the basket. So this one was actually designed. This has a lock, actually. I need my glasses. But this quartz crystal up here turns, and then there's a dot, gold dot at the bottom there, and when you line up the dots, it opens up. And there's more quartz crystal here, and objects can be hung from this band in here, which is also wood. So there are several places in here where you can place objects.
And you used this as a reliquary of sorts, right?
Yes, I did.
What kind of objects did you place in it?
The objects in here were toys, little toys, little pieces of puzzles, and they were all placed in here. This was originally a piece that was called, it was Ode to Mother and Child, think that's what it was. And early on, I met this, she was like 3 years old, and her mother were on campus a lot. And I really liked the relationship, but standing and watching the relationship of a mother and daughter became very special. I don't have a daughter. I have sons. But it was that was sort of the inspiration to do this piece.
Well, thank you very much.
You see now that those lines don't line up, they won't open. But this was also the first time that I used the porcupine quills. So you can see where this was the beginning, and of course there's the end.